Welcome to Warhammer 40k in the Bible, where I pull from Warhammer 40k lore to help explain biblical lore. And today we're going over the Chaos God Tzeentch, and also a god that I just learned about myself in the Bible. So, beforehand, I am a biblical channel. I do two regular biblical videos on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Thursdays, or every Thursday, I do the Warhammer 40k and the Bible series. And then Saturdays is the short narration version of that, and then Sundays is the Warhammer 40k games. Anyways, and also I do want to correct something. I said the black carapace was on the outside of the skin, even though it said that it was under the skin. So I apologize for that. I did get that wrong. So I did want to get that out there. They're like these ports, right? That the power armor connects and becomes the exoskeleton, I guess, per se, right? The second skin. So I apologize for that. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get into Tzeentch. Also known as the Changer of Ways, the Lord of Change, Lord of Sorcery, and the Lord of Entropy, the Great Conspirator, the Weaver of Destinies, and the Architect of Fate, among many other names and titles, is the Chaos God of Change, Evolution, Mutation, Intrigue, Ambition, Knowledge, Sorcery, Destiny, Lies, and Trickery. Tzeentch is especially empowered by the desire for change and ambition for advancement among mortals. Tzeentch's true power is sorcery, and as all sorcery flows from the font of the Immaterium, so too is Tzeentch the master of that twisted, chaotic medium of psychic energy. Tzeentch embodies mortals' tendency towards mutability and change, and drive to evolve and manipulate. This spirit is present in the essence of every living creature, from the first division of cells in the womb to the ultimate craving for survival. It is in the hearts of those with the strongest desire to prevail that Tzeentch whispers his insidious promise, offering a means of life eternal to those unwilling to accept death and oblivion as inevitable. It is also Tzeentch who weaves the threads that connect every action, and plot and subtle intrigue in a galaxy-wide game of manipulation and subterfuge. At the end of each of these threads lies the ensnared soul of a human puppet. Those of Tzeentch's mortal servants and agents who believe they serve the Lord of Sorcery in a mutually beneficial pax. The truth is that Tzeentch's every action is planned with his ultimate goal as his own establishment as the preeminent chaos power in the realm of chaos. The ultimate victor in the great game, of course, the very nature of the Lord of Entropy is such that, were he to attain his triumph, he would still strive for turmoil and change. In many ways, Tzeentch is both the best and least understood of the dark gods. He is the god of fate, plots, and schemes, as well as the god that exemplifies the ever-changing nature of the war. However, Tzeentch does not plot towards some end, at least none that can be comprehended. He schemes simply to scheme. He is constantly building, even as his devices unravel under their own complexity. At the same time, he is the god of knowledge and comprehension, and his devotees may be those who seek a deeper understanding of an often enigmatic universe. Tzeentch is known by 100,000 titles across the galaxy, amongst them the Weaver of Destinies, the Great Conspirator, and the Architect of Fate. In his mind, he listens to the hopes and desires for the change of every sentient being from every planet in the universe. He watches over the plans of his playthings as they unfold into history, toying with the fate and fortune, both his own entertainment and to further his unfathomable schemes. Tzeentch feeds upon and is empowered by the mortal emotions of need and desire for change that is an essential part of all life in the universe. All people dream of prosperity, freedom from injustice, and a better tomorrow. These dreams are not just the preserve of the impoverished or the powerless. Even the imperial planetary governors and imperial navy battle fleet admirals dream of further riches, or perhaps even an end to their responsibilities to the emperor. All these dreams and desires create a powerful impetus for change, and the ambitions of nations create a force that can challenge history. Tzeentch is the embodiment of the force within the immaterial. He was the second of the Chaos Gods to come to full sentience within the warp. Sometime during Old Earth's European medieval period in the second millennium, his birth marked the maturation of human nations and politics, with all their implicit intrigues and double dealings. Tzeentch is not content to merely observe the fulfillment and disappointment brought by the passage of time. He has his own plans, schemes that are so complex and closely woven that they touch the lives of every living thing, whether they realize it or not. The Chaos God's masterly comprehension of time, history and intrigue allows his ploys to intertwine seamlessly, forming a web of causality that spans the stars. Tzeentch is aware of the visions and plans of all mortals in the galaxy. He takes a great delight in plotting and politicking of others and favors the cunning over the strong. When the inner voice in a person's head speaks, when the desperate whisper their prayers into the night, it is the architect of fate that listens. He perceives every event and intention from his information. His mighty mind can work out how each will influence the future. The intertwining lattice work of probability, hope and change. Hope and change is Tzeentch's meat and drink. Without it, he would eventually fade away. Perhaps the architect of fate has plans to overthrow the other chaos gods, or to extend his dominion over all the mortal realms. Perhaps not even Tzeentch himself can say for sure. Whatever is the ultimate goal, he seeks to achieve it by manipulating the individual lives of humans in Xenos alike. If I can read, my goodness. By offering the power of knowledge and sorcery, he can recruit influential chaos warlords and magi to his cause, affecting the lives of many more at a single stroke. However, few of Tzeentch's plans are ever simple. Some span aeons with their complexity, whilst many appear contradictory to others, or even against his own interests. Only Tzeentch can see the threads of potential futures weaving through the time like tangled skeins of multicolored cords. Cords which themselves are made of decision, happenstance, and fluke. I hope I said skeins right, by the way. Apologies if I didn't. Tzeentch is the undisputed master of sorcery in the universe. Sorcery is one of the most potent agents of change, and those who use it are amongst the most ambitious and hungry for power. The raw psychic energy that empowers the psykers of the mortal realm is the actual fabric of the realm of chaos, the same fabric that makes up the ruinous powers. The daemon servants in the shadow cells of mortal consciousness that flicker in the warp and that humanity calls souls. Okay, that's right. Okay. The use of psychic power, or magic as it can rightly be called, is held as the ultimate expression of faith among Tzeentch's followers, who have much to gain from his patronage. Though it will likely cost them their immortal souls, they will at least have boundless power to show for it while they live. This is the stark contrast to the poor, wretched psykers of the Imperium of Man, who are corralled by the Inquisition's black ships and brought to Terra, where many of them feed the dying Emperor's boundless hunger for psychic energy to power the Astronomicon. Or not, Astronomicon. In Tzeentch's eyes, mortal creatures are immeasurably steeped in ambiguity, yet they somehow wage their personal wars completely unaware of the countless contradictions in their souls. Tzeentch cannot help but dabble in the mortal realm. Some amongst the Inquisition believe that the Great Conspirator is responsible for the exponential increases of psychic ability in the human species in recent millennia. His own need to manipulate and control, and his desire to increase his own power in the warp, means Tzeentch is eternally playing the great game waged amongst his brother Chaos Gods. The architect of fate is not above soiling his clawed hands with the bloody business of war, though he much prefers to win his battles through guile and sorcery than brute force. Consumed by his own ineffable thoughts, Tzeentch binds the galaxy in the weave of his complex schemes, just as a spider binds a fly. Though his schemes can take Terran millennia to unfold, when they come to fruition, it is usually reality itself that pays the price. While one mortal lies to another, while envy and ambition survive among humans and aliens, Tzeentch will work his magic as a puppet master of the universe, working towards the day when his final great work will be revealed. Tzeentch exerts his influence in the mortal realm through subtle manipulation and devious ploys. The victims of his corruption are sorcerers drawn by the promise of forbidden knowledge, scholars who seek knowledge at all costs, politicians lured by the power knowledge provides to outmaneuver their opponents. Tzeentch's sacred number is 9. His colors are typically seen as blue and gold, but an ever-changing rainbow of color is appropriate as well, thus giving the name of the Lord of Change demonic armies. Scintillating legions. Boy, am I having a rough one reading today. Apologies, guys. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the biblical side here. So on the surface, this looks like nothing, right? But Isaiah 65:11. So let's go ahead and read it first. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop. So the KJV is right in translating this, because that's what the name means, whatever. But anyways, let me finish. Okay, that finished the drink offering into that number. So what it is actually two gods, right? Or the Hebrew terms, Gad and Many, which were Babylonian or Syrian gods of fortune and destiny, respectively. Isaiah's upbraiding the people for engaging in idolatrous worship of Gad and Many. So we'll go here. Okay, Gad was the name of the pan-Semitic god of fortune, usually depicted as a male, but sometimes as a female. Just like you see like a lot of the chaos gods, or not a lot, but like Tzeentch, it's the prince, but sometimes seen as female, right? So, and a lot of, I guess you could say like apotheosis, which is becoming a god, right? You had to have both male and female, right? So, anyways. So, and attested in ancient records of Aram and Arabia. God is also mentioned in the Bible, or Gad is also mentioned in the Bible as the deity in the book of Isaiah 65:11. And some translations simply call him the god of fortune, which they would be correct in that. As having been worshipped by a number of Hebrews during the Babylonian captivity, Gad apparently differed from the god of destiny, who was known as many. The root verb in Gad means cut or divide, and from this comes the idea of fate being meted out. So there wasn't really much I could find on many, but where was it? Okay, Gad and Many were indeed the names of the pagan gods of fortune and destiny, but the names literally mean troop and number. It is matched. The Strong's is H1408. So if you guys want to look that up, but it is the same word as H1410, which means troop. You can check all those out there. And many is derived from mana, which means to count, reckon, number, assign, tell, appoint, prepare. So, what Isaiah is talking about is they're preparing the table, which was, how can I put that? Like, offering their, crap. I guess you could say, so basically, here, we'll put it this way. So, in the biblical world, the sacrifice of animals, right? It was about having a meal, right? So that's what he's talking about here, right? Preparing the table and the drink offering and stuff like that, right? This was when you really look into the whole sacrificial system on both sides, it's about having a meal, right? Or a drink offering, we'll just say. Whether it's anyways, I don't want to get in trouble by YouTube here. So, anyways. So, Ephesians 6:12. So, of course, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay. Why am I bringing this up? So I'm going to be, now this is not biblical. Let me preface that. This does not come from biblical stuff. This comes from like a pseudepigrapha called the Testament of Solomon. And all this other stuff, right? All these other, Laternae of Light, Binsfeld classification, Spana's classification. These are all demons and stuff like that, right? Different kinds and all their opinions. So I would take it with a grain of salt, but it is interesting. So, which I'm sure you guys already take a lot of my stuff with a grain of salt, so you guys are already there, which is a good thing. So I want to pay attention to this one right here. So, Spina's classification, you have demons of fate. And then, of course, the incubi and succubi. Wandering groups of armies and demons can include multiple regions in hell. That's where you get the legion stuff from, right? Like in the Bible. A lot of that. Then you got familiars, which literally means a familiar spirit, right? Druids, sorry, not druids. Combiones. Now this one's interesting here. And other demons that are born from the union of a demon with a human being. We already know that angels did that with, human beings, we'll just say. But anyways, it's not about that. I just found it interesting, demons of fate. And then, of course, you got these guys. But just like in Warhammer 40k, you got your greater demons, lesser demons, stuff like that, right? It's pretty much the same thing in the biblical realm here, right? But there was one I wanted to bring up real quick. Where is it? Excuse me. Oh yeah, there's the 9. 9 princes ruling over the 9. You do see the number 9 a lot. Where is it? Here we go. I found this interesting. Scale of quaternary, or quaternary. Sorry, I'm terrible with words. If you can't tell. 4 princes of devils in the elements. Right? We just talked about the stoicheion. With the ethereals, the Tau ethereals and stuff, which is kind of a stretch, but yeah, sometimes it's the way the content works. But anyways, what's interesting is you have Samiel, fire, Azazel, air, Ezreal, water, just like I was kind of explaining, there's different types, right? So, anyways, let's go ahead and circle back to Warhammer. We're going to go with the demons. So we got lesser demons. The burning chariots of Tzeentch. What's interesting is you have, of course, chariots of fire. Should have brought, why didn't I put that in there? And it came to pass, they still want to talk. Behold, there appeared a chariot of fire, and horses of fire, and a part of them, And then you also, what's interesting, have the Ophanum. The Ophanum, alternately spelled Ophanum, also called, or to the wheels seen in Ezekiel vision of the chariot. But, so we don't get into that. Basically, you see these Ophanum come down with the cherubim, right? And they're like these, almost kind of like alive drones, and it's crazy. Anyways, it's not about that. So I just found that kind of interesting. The chariots of Tzeentch are demonic constructs in the service of Tzeentch, consisting of ornate discs of Tzeentch pulled by the screamers. A burning chariot blazes through the heavens of the mortal world and is often mistaken for a comet by mortal observers, a sight that is interpreted as the ancient times as an omen of terrible days to come. Herald of Tzeentch, less powerful than the lords of change and demon princes, but ranked above lesser demons like screamers and horrors. Tzeentch's demonic heralds are field officers that lead his troops to battle. Some heralds are indistinguishable from the lesser creatures they command, and some scholars of the Ordo Malleus feel that many are nothing more than especially powerful horrors. Most tend to be lanky, multi-limbed creatures whose physical form is in constant flux. Most can manipulate warp energy and cast spells. When Tzeentch's demonic hosts march to war, his heralds often function as squad leaders and organize the fiery, morphing mass of his demons into a devastating onslaught. The discs of Tzeentch are disc-like melds of psychic energy, metallic construct, and lesser daemon, and are often used as a transport for mortal champions of Tzeentch. They are capable of lashing out upon nearby foes in short-range lightning blasts or magically manifesting powerful tentacles for attacking. They are often as change-bringers if they are ridden by a flamer. Flamer of Tzeentch. Flamers of Tzeentch are slightly more powerful lesser demons with numerous gaping maws that produce the searing flames which give these demons their unsubtle name. They frequently flight alongside horrors. Like horrors, they are able to unleash magical blasts of energy upon their foes. Horrors. Horrors are the most prolific lesser demon of Tzeentch, an ever-shifting mass of flesh, limbs, and flame-spewing orifices. Horrors are capable of unleashing potent psychic powers upon their foes. Screamers. Screamers are manta ray-like demonic beasts that swoop down on foes and cut them apart with their sharp tusks, but prefer to emit an unholy scream that damages and terrifies most mortals. Greater demons. Greater daemons, sorry. My goodness. Lord of Change. Lords of Change are most powerful greater demons. Are the most powerful greater demons of Tzeentch, typically taking the form of a large, bird-like winged demon of vast intellect and potent sorcerer's power. They are described as winged bipedal creatures with snake-like necks and avian heads. The creatures' bodies, especially their wings, are usually multicolored, and they are capable of shooting powerful blasts of warp lightning and chaos fire. However, the true danger of the Lords of Change is not their potent combat abilities, but the endless schemes they weave to entrap, manipulate, and corrupt mortals of every intelligent species and culture. Daemon Prince of Tzeentch. A Daemon Prince of Tzeentch is a former mortal or heretic Astartes, servant of Tzeentch, who has accomplished so much for the Lord of Change that he or she has been transformed into a mortal demon prince. For a sorcerer of the Thousand Sons Legion, the apotheosis of their service to the Grand Conspirator is to gain immortality as a demon prince. The last fragment of the mortal soul, are already warped by centuries and sadistic manipulation done unto others, is plunged into swirling darkness, never to return. Their flesh is riven with chaos energy, their body growing to enormous proportions to accommodate a massive surge of raw, empiric power. Muscles bulge along elongated limbs, and hands twist into many taloned claws that drip with magic. Much of their armor and weaponry is absorbed into their new form. The Tzeentchian runes and icons bedecking their war gear become embedded in sinew, where they pulsate with bestial vigor. Alright, guys. I know that wasn't like the usual, and it was definitely an interesting study, and I do want to say, I am not a Warhammer expert. I have been doing Warhammer for about 8 months now, and I still got a lot of content to go through, and I do apologize if I get things wrong, right? And when I do get things wrong, I'm not going to sweep it under the rug or try to ignore it, whatever. I'll let you guys know, fix it, and move on, right? That's how people should handle good criticism and whatnot. You know what I mean? But anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.